Hello, trading is closed on December 3, 2015. I'm Jeff Tennant. Let's change the order on a little bit and go over today's trade first and then review my calls from yesterday. Early on, MEJT said ultimately lower prices would print, which turned out to be an understatement. It said this rally was false and that prices would retrace. It said this rally was false, which it was. It now says this drop is false and that we have a new target, most likely to print tomorrow, of 2,059.81. Futures are already close to that price. So even though targets can fail during times of strong impulsive moves, I think it's very plausible that that price will be seen tomorrow and that will get resistance over it. I made a few calls yesterday. I had some MEJT targets of 2094.40, 2101.01, and 2103.06. In the futures market, the lower target actually was hit, but that does not count. It had relevance, but it has to print within regular trading hours to satisfy the target. We'll come back to that later. This optional target we'll forget because it didn't print yesterday. This target 2101.01 typically won't fail, not typically, actually won't fail till tomorrow morning, but I think there's no chance it'll print. We did have a failed target of 2068.70 from November 18th. That printed and there was resistance under it. We also have a support resistance level based on the November 17th close right here. If you go back to November 17th, you'll see we had a feature I've talked about before. We have a strong move down and then we have a gap move at the open, making a V pattern with a gap. These gaps do fill at some time, and there's typically support under this price when they do. I said that there was some conflict in the indicators yesterday. Here's the origin of the left stilt. It was retested. Typically when that happens, it breaks in grand style. But because there were higher targets, I said I would believe they would print. But if this low fell, I said that the whole bottom could drop out, which it did. And these are all the failed MEJT targets since April 2014. We had a couple of failed targets right here on July 21, marked the start of a large move down. We had one failed target during a period of a strong impulsive move, and now we have two targets right at this high here. Out of hundreds and hundreds of targets, these are all the failed ones. I think that the targets right at the high are failures, but they're part of the system, and that failed targets tend to occur at major changes in trend. So today's action is compatible with a major change in trend, and we could see much lower prices coming up. Let's go to the next graph. Short term, we do have a buy signal, the combo and the sequential on the 15-minute chart. It doesn't have to lead to a large move. When the time frame is this small, it adds credence to the price targets in the 2050s printing. We also have some support from the lower time of Andrew's pitchfork, but that doesn't really have to hold. So for tomorrow, I have a target of 2059.81. There might be a little more than that, but I expect resistance over that price, regardless of what happens in the short term. Longer term, it looks like we're going significantly lower from here. And that is today's call.